The following is a real life scenario. I've changed some details to maintain the anonymity of this mobile home park owner friend of mine. Imagine this. You own a 100-lot mobile home park that you bought for about $2 million. So, great price at $20,000 per occupied pad. The market's strong. The infrastructure is solid. The economics of this deal look great. But then, in due diligence, you find a potential major issue. The property lies uphill on shaky ground. A massive retention wall stands between economic prosperity and total calamity. Without this giant retention wall, the entire property itself would collapse. So, you bring in an engineer. After a couple $1,000s and weeks of study, this engineer gives you the okay that the retention wall is structurally sound and shouldn't have any issues anytime soon, barring an act of God. So you close, and you do really, really well. 100 lots times 300 lot rent minus 35% expense ratio minus debt installments of about $9,500 per month yields distributable income of about $10,000 per month. Hey, $120,000 per year clean on a property is a pretty exciting deal. For most listening in that aren't full-time in mobile home parks, I would say the majority of you would jump at the chance to quit your job and go full-time into mobile home parks for $120,000 a year. So all is good. This clean, stable, strong cash flowing property performs well. Then flash forward 2 years later. You get a certified letter from the city. An inspector discovered a crack in the retention wall. All residents may be affected, and the city is forcing you to take action now, or they'll shut the entire mobile home park down. No big deal, right? The engineer put serious time into studying this retention wall, and all looked good 2 years ago. So you call your engineer back out. Familiar with this wall? This engineer should be able to just recommend some low-cost cosmetic fixes, and we can all move along happily. Well, then you hear back from this engineer. His tune has completely changed. Now, he's saying the retention wall will completely fail within 1 year. A quick fix for $100,000 will buy you maybe 6 months. A permanent fix will cost $1 million. Ridiculous, right? So you do the sensible thing and you call several other engineers for second opinions. Every single one, all of them, conclude the exact same thing. What do? Do you sue the original engineer for negligence? That could take years in court and doesn't guarantee a positive outcome in a timely manner. Do you find a loan for that $1 million? But even if you do, bye-bye cash flow. Do you sell the mobile home park? But surely you won't be able to get what you paid for it with a $1 million liability, right? I want to reiterate that while I'm fudging the details on this hypothetical story, a very real, actual story that a friend of mine is going through right now does present a similar doomsday scenario. Now let's talk some good news. This friend of mine owns over 1,000 lots. He has 7 figures of liquid cash, and his lot rent at this mobile home park can support 400 plus, meaning he likely can exit this property for, say, 50 to 60,000 per occupied pad, assuming all is well with the retention wall. Heck, even at 50,000 per occupied pad, he bought this property for $2 million, and in that case be worth $5 million, again, sans retention wall issue. Dumping in another $1 million to address the retention wall, while extremely painful, wouldn't kill him. Better yet, this could provide him with a massive tax shield for years to come. My friend doesn't need the cash flow of this property to remain full-time in mobile home parks. My friend will be just fine. Now imagine if this was his only property. Imagine if he had taken $600,000, his entire stack of cash at the time, and dumped all of it in on this property at closing. Or worse, he brought in investors to take this property down that he now has to answer to. How is my friend able to survive this potentially devastating storm? The answer? Strength in numbers. While I would say growing big just for growth's sake is a bad idea, having scale will provide an additional serious buffer in the event of a calamitous event. While this event is super rare, for those of you dreaming of going full-time in mobile home parks, definitely consider setting your sights a little bit higher towards diversifying your mobile home park portfolio to obtain strength in numbers.